Okay, g'day guys. So today we're going to be talking about a straight bar pullover. So the first thing we're going to discuss is firstly what it's going to target, and then how about that we want to sort of change up maybe the status quo of how this exercise is performed in order to get that full range in. So what we know about this exercise is a really good isolator for our lats, and our lats start down nice and low down here, and then it comes right up and into the front of our arm just there. Now, why is that important to know? Because it allows us to do such a full range of motion. It allows us to take our arm slightly back like so and come all the way up and above our head, even potentially a little bit of hyperextension where we come back like so, and that's going to give us a big stretch. So why is that important? Well, you see frequently a lot of people when they perform this exercise, they start in this position here, and they pull down to their hips, and then they come back up and away they go. Now you can see that if I start in this position here, we're limiting our range of motion from this position to there. So, and sure, you can probably bend yourself over a little bit more, but as fatigue kicks in, what you also see is people start to raise up and come higher and higher, right? And also, potentially, your cable at your gym might not have the right length in order to reach all the way up. So you might only be stuck here. So what I would suggest you do is actually start this exercise on your knees. And then when you do this, all of a sudden you're able to go all the way up, reach all the way up, come back down. Now, let's talk about what you want to do position-wise with your body. What we know is that whenever we perform an exercise, we want to work with the acronym STEP, and STEP stands for stabilization, tension, execution, and then we track our performance. Performance is always last because we need to nail the first three first. Right, now why is that important? Well, obviously on our knees we probably don't need a great deal of stabilization through our hips, because really they're not really at play here. Obviously we're pulling through with our arms, we're not doing a great deal with our hips, so we don't need to concentrate too much on that. But what we do need to concentrate on is our scapula, and because that is the joint that is at play. Now, what do we need to do with this? Well, in order to gain a great deal more lat activation and tension, we need to stable that muscle, or we need to stable our shoulder blades, and how we do that is pulling our shoulder blades back and down. And you will feel that when you pull your shoulder blades back and down, or try and put your shoulder blades in your back pockets, you'll feel the tension go through your lats just here, okay? But you also notice something that's going to contradict what I've just said, and that is when you pull your shoulder blades back and down, I can't actually reach all the way above my head, right? We have that tension through our lats. So this is where the skill set comes in of this exercise, and that skill set is that we need to be able to keep that tension on and that stability through the joint whilst going all the way up. Now that sounds somewhat easy, but a lot of people you see at the gym, they end up either in this position, or as they fatigue, to keep that stability through their shoulder blades, they start to pronounce their chest and arch up. And also, when we are keeping that stability on, you can see that when I pull it down, my shoulder blades back and down, and if I over-exaggerate it, you can see what happens to my lower back here, and that I end up getting a bit of a duck ass happening where it pops right out, and I'm all bunched up here, and very little is happening through my midsection there, okay? So when we are in this kneel position, what we need to do is go, sure, we need to pull our shoulder blades back and down, but we also need to think about this top rib here coming down to the top of our pelvis. So we need to bunch that up as well. And you can see what happens is that I become a lot straighter through my midsection rather than so arched. And then when I do this, instead of my chest becoming so pronounced, it's down. And this still allows for my full range of motion. So let's go through the exercise. We're actually going to take our hands past shoulder width, because that will then allow us to come down and back. Okay, if we're too narrow, we're going to hit our hips and we're not going to get that full range of motion where we come back like so. Obviously with the bar can't bend, so we're probably going to end up all the way back down here, but we can get a little bit more into our hips with the straight bar. Okay, so nice and wide, our shoulder blades are going to pull back and down, and this weight's probably a little bit too light because I can't counter off it. So let's start that again. Our shoulder blades are going to go back and down. And from this position here, we are going to brace our abs. Remember, top of the rib towards the top of the pelvis, and we're going to pull through all the way down to our hips, and then we're going to lower it down and keep that tension on. Now you notice that when I went that time and that time, I didn't go all the way up, and that's because I'm trying to create what they call feedback from my lats to know, yep, I'm under tension, I have stability. And then this time we're going to go all the way up, stretch, and back down. All the way up, stretch, and back down. And squeeze those lats right at the bottom. Okay? Takes a little bit of getting used to, but that's going to do my head in. But once you have that down pat, then potentially you could move to standing up and knowing your full ranges. I would probably suggest that you avoid the straight bar and stick to the ropes, because the ropes will allow you to get all the way back. However, if you don't have ropes, or if you're looking for a variation that might be something different, something new and exciting, by all means, use a straight bar. But team, that there is how you go about using a straight bar for a cable pullover.